Hello guys, welcome to another video. I am Bones McKay. I talk about comics, I write comics. Oh my god, so many comics. And today I want to talk about motivation and getting yourself locked in order to get your comics done. And we were talking about this a little bit on the Patreon chat. We have a Patreon voice chat twice a week, and we have a public voice chat once a week. So if you want in on either of those, the link is below. And we were talking about motivation and how it can be difficult to stay focused on a single project and see it through. And as someone who has a lot of projects and oh my god, I have 5 active comics. 2 of them are like being re-released, and then I have 2 other ones that are in the works, so like 7 total. And yeah, so I also do like my daily YouTube thing, and that is its own sort of grind. And I think there is like an interesting aspect, especially to webcomics, where it can be hard to ever see them through to the fully fleshed out ending of them. Comics can go on for a very long time. And if you are someone who is very discouraged that you never finish anything, we're gonna go back to like my oldest and best advice, which is to start smaller. Work on something smaller that you can complete so that you have some sort of laurels to rest upon yourself. Because when we look at like a big epic story, a long-running slice of life series, finding the ending can be daunting, and it's just like overwhelming. So start with something small. Start with a small fantasy story. Start with a small romance between 2 people that get together pretty quickly instead of the longest slow burn you've ever experienced in your life. Starting small is just how you can get things done. And if you are someone who's just been discouraged because you cannot achieve what you want to achieve, it's time to lock in and do one thing and finish it. And with that, you need to do things you don't like sometimes, okay? If you cannot lock in on any of your stories, you have too many ideas and you get bored of them, it is time for you to sit down and finish one. If you get bored of a story that you're working on, it's not time to jump to another story. It is time to make the story you're working on exciting. If you're bored writing it, somebody's probably going to be bored reading it too. You can throw some wrenches into things. You can add more conflict to the plot. You can experiment more with your art. But I want you to see it through to the end. And when it comes to comics, like I was saying, aside from like the short comic that I want you to finish, most of the comics you are writing, you won't see the end for a very long time. Like most of us are writing long stories, or something like a comedy comic that is meant to go on forever. So it can be a lot harder to lock in on those sort of stories where you have to go to work constantly over and over forever. It's like a day job that you are having. And for me, I am definitely fueled by the releasing things. Every time I put up a new page, it's super exciting, it's invigorating, I love it, and that encourages me. And I think that finding that encouragement is very important. You don't want to be miserable most of the time that you're working on a comic, but you need to be a little bit miserable sometimes, okay? Comics are not going to be pleasant all the time. It's like going to the gym. It's like learning to play piano, you know, like there's difficulties. There are times where you don't want to sit and practice, but you think about where you're gonna get to at the end, and that's important. You know, what drives you and where are you trying to get to? And that can help you be strong and move onward. When it comes to getting like blocked up, okay, what about when you have writer's block or artistic block? Like, how do you move past that? How do you stay focused? How do you keep on top of things? It's really dependent on a lot of things. For me, I had a huge writer's block caused by a mental health crisis that I went through. And I've also had writer's block just because like I don't know where to take a story. Sometimes I just don't want to do it. But there's like a mix of things that can happen there, right? Like first and foremost, take care of yourself physically, mentally, whatever. And, you know, go for a walk, think things out, try working on something else for another time. But also there comes a point when you're just being a little silly. I'll be real. With writer's block, sometimes you're just being silly. And sometimes you just need to move on. Okay? Just power through, write something bad, and get to the other side of it. That's me with videos. With videos, sometimes I don't have any idea what I'm going to talk about. I can't come up with a topic to save my life. I don't know what to ramble about today. But I sit down and I say, you know what? There's some sort of words I can put on the page today. There is some sort of art that I can draw today. It's not going to be my best, and that's okay. In order to move forward, in order to stay motivated, in order to get things done, sometimes you just need to be a body in a seat. And the reason that I kind of came to this is thinking about day jobs, right? When it comes to day jobs, I can sit my ass down, I can walk through snowbanks, I can make it to my day job, do work I hate, and then go home and breathe a sigh of relief. And sometimes comics are just a day job. Sometimes YouTube is gonna have day job energy, and it's not fun. And if it's constantly this, you don't want to do it. But I think a week or a month of things feeling like a day job is acceptable. Okay, we need to sometimes be a little bit miserable and make ourselves do things. Because you're not always going to be in the best mood. And comics don't wait for you to be in the best mood. Comics take time. They're a marathon. Like, your legs are gonna hurt, you're gonna complain, but you'll get through to the other end and you can sigh a breath of relief, and sooner or later it's gonna be fun again. That's why I'm saying give it a month, maybe a week, before you decide like, okay, I don't know about comics, this might be something big going on. Or like you can take a break for like life events to go on. It's okay to take a break just in general for like a little vacation, refresh your brain, get some new ideas. Switching between the different aspects of comic work can be very helpful when it comes to this. But yeah, like it's so much of it. Like it's hard to come up with advice because so much of it is just getting to work. And this is coming from someone with ADHD. I got the big ADHD. I struggled through high school. I struggled so hard to get homework done because I would sit there paralyzed about making things perfect. Learning about ADHD really helped me understand how my brain worked, and helped me understand that like it's difficult to push myself. And I think you get into like this state early on and just into discovering your ADHD where you're like, wow, I don't need to push myself. And by push myself, I mean, I don't need to call myself a loser dummy who can't get anything done. But I think in doing that, I also whisked away the part of me that was like, okay, sit down, dumbass, and get your work done in a nice way, you know? Don't do it in a mean way, but sometimes you gotta sit your dumbass down and you gotta get your work done. And it is not always going to work. Sometimes you're going to do terrible. And I'm not saying you don't have a disability, but it does get to a point where like the only thing that can get you to work is you. And the only one who can make your comics come to life is you. And you want your comics to get done, right? Like you want this. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, no one's judging you. You can sit down and you can get it done. You're gonna have a good time eventually. Even if it's not at this moment, you know, not every moment is going to be a good moment. Not all of your comic is going to be something you enjoy. I hate Pretty Mouth. That's my comic. I hate it's just a saying now at this point. I hate Pretty Mouth, but like, you know, sometimes you don't create stuff you like and you look back on it and you're like, ew. But like, those are part of learning, you know? Like, if you're later on and you want to make stuff beautiful, like, whatever, I think it's fine to be like a perfectionist, big air quotes, like someone who wants to make one story and you want every page to be beautiful. I think that's a great thing. For me personally, I have so many stories I want to tell, so I'm not going to do that. But it's not because I don't respect people who do. I think there's this video out there that's very popular about spending like 13 years on a comic and regretting it. But I think it's possible to spend 13 years making a super detailed, beautiful comic and love everything about it. If that's something that you are dedicated to and you love, it's your magnum opus. I think that works. But if you're someone who wants to make tons of comics, you gotta sit your ass down and you gotta work and you gotta make pages that are ugly and have large chins and you're like, what the hell was I thinking? Why is everything brown? Why did I make all these pages brown? What am I doing? You know, like, that's gonna happen. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go and do other things because I'm busy. I'm burning the candle at all ends. I'm burning the entire candle. I pulled out the wick and I've set it ablaze like a flaming pot of spaghetti. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Next week is the long live stream where we're going to be raising money for my dog's dental surgery. So if you want commission art from my lovely wife, you got to save your coins and you can get art, help my dog, and we'll just have a great time. I don't know. I should leave. I'm leaving. Bye.